Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. I just wanted to go ahead and touch bases with you. About a week ago, or actually maybe 2 weeks ago, I posted up on Facebook. I'll actually read it. The question was, have you ever wondered why overweight people are still overweight despite the fact that they don't eat enough or rarely eat? Or have you ever wondered why no matter how clean you eat, you just cannot drop the fat? And I got a lot of positive responses in regards to the post. A lot of people wanted me to write a blog about it. I am going to start trying something different. I want to start making videos. I think that they're just reach out to people a lot better. People tend to like to watch more videos. I'm the same way. I think sometimes it feels a little bit more engaging. So I figured for this one, instead of writing a blog about it, I would make a small video. Nothing too long, just enough to get you guys straight to the point and answer the questions that you guys have for me. So I wanted to talk to you guys exactly why is it that overweight people are overweight, despite the fact that a lot of them don't eat a lot, technically speaking, right? So I deal with this a lot. Mainly my clients are females. A lot of them are, working moms. They rarely have the chance to go to the gym. It's very hard for them to prepare their meals, or a lot of them are just young females just trying to get fit and healthy, learn to weight train heavy and with good form. So the problem that I run into a lot is, despite the fact that you are overweight and you say, well, I rarely eat, I eat a handful of nuts here, I eat my chicken salad, things like that. You will lay out your day and it seems like I don't even eat that much, or you're skipping meals or whatnot. But at the end of the day, it really does not matter. Calories do count, and it's really funny because it seems so old school, but it really does matter. And that's why you'll notice a lot of people, they do really well in the beginning with calorie counting, because it's proven through research that calories in versus calories out counts. And with that said, despite the fact that you think that you're not eating enough, or you think that you're not eating a lot, you more than likely are. So for example, I always ask my clients how they're doing and how their day was and how they're eating. This is only for those who are not on a meal plan, because they're just learning how to eat well, learning how to make the best choices for themselves on a daily basis, which is just making a lifestyle change. So typically they'll say, okay, in the morning I had oatmeal, and then I always ask, and what about your protein? Do you have protein with that? And they usually say no or yeah. When they're learning, we always go little by little. And then they'll say, oh, I had a chicken salad. And I ask them, oh, what did you have with it? They're like, oh, I think it had like some of this, some of that. And you start really thinking about it. Everything in a salad adds up. The dressing adds up, the croutons add up, the nuts that are in there adds up, and they don't really think about that. And then sometimes they skip a meal and then they go about their day and they're like, oh yeah, and I had like a handful of almonds. And sometimes I ask them to show me the bag that it came in, and these almonds are like 300 calories worth in a bag, because if you look at it, it's about 2 or 3 servings worth. To be truthful, I rarely eat like nuts on the side because it's just not enough volume. I don't find it satisfying, but some people think, again, that it's healthy, so oh, it must be good for me, but in reality, it's kind of setting them back because they're overdoing on their calories. So, and then after that, they'll say they had dinner and they tell me what they had for dinner. So what may seem like a low calorie day because you didn't eat a lot of food was actually very calorie dense. And that's what not a lot of people think about. They just think of small items here and there, but a lot of foods are very, very calorie dense. Peanut butter is very calorie dense, and if you're measuring, then you can get away with it because you're being more cautious. But if you're not, just because you think it's healthy, it does not make it okay to fit in your plan if that's not what your goals are. And half the time too, a lot of my clients, I run into this a lot as well, is they say they're eating this and that, but yet they're not telling me the little things that are happening in between. For example, if they're at work, they grab like a little mini, like a Milky Way or a Snickers at like their coworker's desk. One here, one there. Oh, I just had like a little piece. Yeah, but I believe like those, if you have like 4 of them, that's like a serving, and it's like 200 calories. Everything adds up. And I don't want to say that only calorie counting works, but in the beginning for weight loss or fat loss, it does work. Later on, once you get better at knowing your caloric intake and what's going to help you lose fat, you can then move on to your macronutrients, which is, okay, I know how many calories I should be eating. Now, what should those calories consist of? And that's for a little bit more advanced, but in the beginning, I always get them more on a calorie range. Like, okay, let's make the best choices with these calories. Then from there, once we start figuring out, okay, I totally got the hang of this, now let's figure out where the calories are coming from. So that's one of the biggest reasons why overweight people are still overweight, because they think that they're not eating a lot, but they really are. And even if they eat 1 or 2 meals a day, half the time whatever they are eating is very, very calorie dense, and they're not taking that into consideration. Again, calories in versus calories out, it still matters. It's still research, and science has proven that over and over again, no matter what. And the other thing I want to point out, and I have my notes here, is that when you are overweight and you're not exercising and you're only focusing on calories only, sometimes you only can, how should I say this, strive on a very low calorie diet, because when you're not exercising, your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, is very low. So you pretty much are telling your body, I don't need a lot to survive on. So even if you provide your body with what seems like so little calories, your metabolic rate is probably so low that even those little calories are too much for your body, because you're not exercising, you're not creating any type of stimulus on your muscles to tell your body, let me use these calories as fuel, let me use these calories to expand just for my everyday daily activities, even if it's just playing with your kids or walking or whatever the case may be. So sometimes overweight people or people with high body fat, they don't exercise enough, or they think that exercising 1 to 2 times a week is enough, and it's not. Your body is very, very adaptable. You have to constantly be changing it, or changing up what used to work may not be working for you anymore, and that's okay. That's just progressing and advancing in your weight loss or fat loss journey. And the second thing that I wanted to point out is due to the fact that a lot of people overestimate what they burn. For example, a lot of people say, yeah, I go for long walks. That's totally okay. I go for walks too, and I'm a big believer that every movement you make counts. I believe there's actually something called NEAT, and if you look it up, it's N-E-A-T. It's I believe it's non-exercise activity thermogenesis, if I'm not mistaken. What that means is things moving more. It's not really exercise, but it's still moving more for the body. So for example, me, it would be walking my dog. I would never consider that exercise ever. That's just me. Everyone does it differently. However, for me, it is moving more. And moving more for me means I definitely create a better metabolism, and sometimes I can overeat and it doesn't affect me that much, because overall I am more active. So that's another thing too. People are taking their daily activities as exercise when they need to do something a little bit more demanding. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is all your clean eating per se is keeping you fat, and you're not understanding why. I get this a lot too. A lot of girls will come to me and tell me, yeah, but I'm eating chicken breast, and I'm eating salads, and I'm eating nuts and peanut butter and rice cakes and baby carrots, and they're naming off all these clean foods. But again, stemming back from what I said in the beginning of the video, calories still matter. So even if your foods are clean, it does not matter. You could follow a paleo diet, a low carb diet, a high carb diet. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you're eating more calories than you burn, you will gain fat or lose fat. It's the bottom line. That is why in the beginning, when I used to follow fad diets as well, it was actually more stressful, because I felt like nothing was working, when in reality it was the calories that were not working. It's not the type of diet that it was. So I always try to promote flexible eating, because at the end of the day, as long as you're not going over your calories, that's really all that matters. So I hope that you will take that into consideration, that if you have not lost fat or if you have not lost weight and you're not reaching your goals, really think about your diet, write it down, really be truthful to yourself, be truthful to, if you have a trainer, be truthful to them. Everything you put in your mouth counts. Trust me when I say that. Once you get your calories down and you really figure out how much you need, start adding in a little bit more, little by little. If you can maintain a healthy weight and you haven't gained, great. The more food, the better. The body strives much more on more food than less food. Move more as much as you can, and I think at the end of the day, you'll eventually figure out where you were messing up in, but I really think you need to be truthful to yourself, and yes, everything counts. On the weekends, you over drinking, that counts. You binge eating, that counts. Just because no one sees you doing it, it doesn't mean it doesn't count. And I have to work with this with a lot of clients of mine. You know, sometimes they lie to me, and I don't need to tell them that they're lying when they're not making progress. They know the truth, and I know the truth as well. So eventually it comes out, but you know, it's a learning experience. But I do think that you need to really pinpoint what you're eating, how much you're eating, what you put into your body. Then later on, you can specify your goals on what those calories will consist of. I hope this video was helpful for you. I am always willing to help you. If you ever have any questions, just email me at afit_training@outlook.com and ask me any questions you would like, or on my Facebook page at afittraining. You know, I'm always here to help, and let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. So if you like this video, subscribe below, and ask your friends to follow as well. I'm planning on making more videos, recipes, and other stuff that I have on my mind. Okay, thanks guys. Have a good night.